Hello, we are back. Actual play, World of Dungeons, in the wake of the Sorcerer Kings. Micah is about to go into the Griffin's Rook, the Griffin's Nest, and I've secured some assets to go in, and hopefully Kasan's gonna help file my paperwork, and Scarlet will have refugee status next thing. I'm sure. No problems. Can't imagine any complications here. Yeah. You ready to do this delve?
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Here it is. All right. Who have I got? Who's my party?
Yeah, you get 2 shields. I think you get Dole from last week,
Perfect. I was hoping I'd get Dole.
and who else? One more name. Bloom.
Bloom.
And yeah, Dole is the same. I'll describe her again. She's a I think most people are human. I think the when we run into non-human folks, it's going to be pretty rare.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Jakeways is a pretty human-centric place, and that just feels like the type of fantasy we're doing.
Yeah. I don't feel like elves and dwarves are. It's not that they can't exist. I just don't think they're in the setting predominant in significant ways, right? Like they might show up, but they're not. Yeah. Commonplace.
Yeah. I think it would be a rarity. But yeah, Dole is a squat barrel of a woman who keeps her hair cut short for her helm, and gets real. Has a one thing I was thinking about for the shields is do we have like pistols in this world? Like where are we tech wise? Like are we wheel lock, or are we do they have weird wand pistols, or is that a thing, or do we want to kind of stay away from firearms entirely and just kind of keep it medieval?
Well, we've introduced hydroelectric power and dwarves or elves or DLC. Yeah, exactly. We've introduced hydroelectric power and pneumatic tubes.
Yeah,
I don't know where those fall along the lines with flintlock pistols, but it sounds to me like that's a thing that could exist.
cool.
What's China Maville's city? New Corbizon.
Yeah.
That's we've talked about that a little bit. China Maville as a touch point, and I feel, and I don't remember because it's been a long time since I've read the books, but like I don't remember if they had pistols, but that feels to me like the kind of thing would have. But I imagine that even pistols have a little bit of mundane, but yet still magical or alchemical components. Like that, the gunpowder is some sort of alchemical concoction that isn't trivial to make, and so
Cool.
Yes, they exist. Theoretically, anybody could get them, but the inner workings of them are not super well known.
Cool. Yeah, I think Dole has a pretty big shield, and like instead of it just being straight across like a kite shield, there's a little divot for like a pistol in the middle, and then there's like another divot on the outer corner, so that she can go either way, and she's got like 3 like under her arm that as Roger said, firearms carry a whole new layer of paperwork. So much.
Yep.
Absolutely. Was there a discharged firearm? Yeah, we got a form for that. Fill that out.
Yeah, that's why Yeah, that's why Micah never carries a gun. It has nothing to do with not killing people. It has nothing to do with not being violent. It has everything to do with I hate filling out the paperwork.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So postal paperwork. Oh yeah, it's like got it. The handouts, the wheel vault. Cool. Do we want to go over the I guess we already did the equipment.
Well, I don't think I rolled to see if all the equipment, the standard list of equipment. Sorry.
Okay.
Can you give me that standard list again somewhere that I can throw in Roll20? Just because last time I remember I was forgetting it and I wanted to I don't know. I wanted to look. I only remembered a few things off of it. So
let me put it on the handouts.
Cool beans. Thank you.
Pre-delve equipment checklist. Choose a file. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll go over that. Is that everything? I think that's everything. We will go over that real fast.
Sounds good.
Before jumping in. But yeah, Dole is just a squat linebacker or a squat, maybe, offensive tackle of if you're a football person. And I think Bloom is more of a duelist. So like Bloom has, whereas Dole is kind of, heavy shock and a bit, a mace and a shield and some pistols. Bloom is, you wanted like heavy shields, and Bloom has like a little, round shield. A little buckler that kind of goes around his fist, and then an arming sword, as if he's gonna do a judicial duel. And I think that the thing was, back when there was a tradition of judicial dueling in Jakeways, that is exactly what Bloom did.
Yeah, but now there's no more sorcerers who need duels fought for them. So yeah, I love it. I love the idea that that just isn't a thing anymore.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Micah's. So how many times have I talked to somebody about their game when I can tell that they're ages away from having their game ready, and they feel like their game is ready to publish right now? That this is my feeling of this is how I'm interpreting Micah's feeling of seeing Bloom right now. It's
right.
It's I see people and yeah, I like this game. I think I'm going to publish it. I'm going to kickstart it next week. And I'm like, your game is 2 years. Yeah, it needs 2 years more of development, right?
Right.
And it's not that the game is bad. It's just that games take forever to make, and I see all of these missing pieces, and I have the publisher's perspective on it, and not necessarily the oh, I just got it good enough that I can play it, and I'm really excited about it perspective.
Right.
So I think that's Micah's look at Bloom, of just they're just sort of gnawing on some jerky when Bloom shows up, and they kind of scrunch their eyes, they kind of scrunch their eyebrow, and they're just well, I mean, it's how we learn. Okay.
Yeah.
They try not to be condescending or patronizing. It's just not what they had in mind, but you make do with what you got. So
yeah.
Yeah. Did you want to articulate the checklist again?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think Kassan has his spiel. He sits everything out, and he says, "All right, let's make sure we got all this. Let's check this off, get it signed, and then I'm going to run back to the chapter house and get this Appendix N filed. Ready? We got the Delve sack. That's where everything is in. So boom, let's check that off. I don't know why whoever made this list didn't put it at the top, but anyway, it's in the middle. We'll check it off. 10-foot pole. He grabs a little retractable 10-foot pole. Not really a weapon, definitely more of a prodding thing. Couple pieces of chalk. Again, I think like they're not like long pieces. I think they're just
No, I think
little,
they're like little nubs. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. 12 iron spikes. Throws them out. A couple of them are bent a little funny, as if as if something bent them. A mallet. A lantern. I think this one is this is an older set, and so it's actually like an oil lantern.
It's not an artificer's globe. Got
it's
it.
not an artificer's globe. No, this one is oil. There is a crow's axe, which is an axe with a crowbar at the end.
We see it featured in the Delvers Municipal.
Oh yeah,
down here in the
yep.
Delvers Union.
Yep, absolutely. 3 pencils, 80 foot of rope, and I think he realizes that like you're not someone who's going to measure everything out, right?
Yep.
So he's
kind of like, we established that I'm like, don't measure out that 80 feet. Throw it to me. Can I see there's no like cuts in it? Nothing. It's not frayed too bad. Okay.
Yeah. Grapple, and he says, "Do you want the grapple is still tied to the rope?
Do you
want the grapple tied or just
leave it? It's fine. I mean, I don't know how I'd use a grapple without it being on the rope, so it's all good.
The official Delving Union's monster manual is a year. They publish them like every 2 years, but like this one looks like it had been like lit on fire at some point and like or maybe beaten someone out who was on fire. He takes out of his pocket 3 little homing bats in tube cages, and he says, "Remember to feed them before you go in, so they know to come back to where they were last fed. They'll roost near there if you are in dire trouble." 1 roll of delving tape. It's more like half a roll, but it'll do.
And delving tape, I think this is the one thing I didn't realize. Is it like a tape measure? Is it like electrical tape? Is it like?
Yeah, so a friend of mine was a gaffer on film sets, and so it's better than duct tape is like gaffer's tape.
Oh, I've used gaffer's tape. Yeah, absolutely. It's stretchy and tough. Got it.
Yeah. I picture it like gaffer's tape.
Cool.
Thank you, Whit. 100 ball bearings. In a little sack, throws it in because he knows you're not going to count it. 3 days of rations. Probably freeze dried in a container. 1 day of water. He says, I filled it up nearby from a fire hydrant. One empty canteen. A waterproof, fireproof delving envelope where you can put whatever you want to put. 1 heavy blanket, which Kassan always says, like, this thing has been used to save more people's lives than maybe anything else in this whole bag. And he checks your raiment, your boots, rubber overalls, overcoat, undermask, helmet, rubber gauntlets, and then he goes down the community checklist. He says the block elders have been notified. They're thrilled. The hospital cart will be gone for about an hour because I'm gonna bring the cart back with me to go to the chapter house, but I'll swing around and come right back. The firehouse has been notified, and I've let the priests at the nearest temple. And he says like the nearest temple is like 3 blocks north.
I kind of look up at it and go, okay, yep.
And then he says, approved substitutions, and he writes down like goat's meat, heavy gloves. He hands everybody their heavy gloves, gives you a bunch of, a bunch of goat's meat in butcher paper, and says, sign here.
All right, let's, yep, looks good. And I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to roll to see if it's all there. Is that right?
Yeah.
And I'm just rolling straight 2d6, or am I?
Yeah. I think so.
I don't remember the move. You want
Maybe
to
it's
pull it up?
2d6 plus level. So 2d6 plus 0. Yep.
Okay. Got a 9, so something's missing.
Something is damaged or askew. Yeah. We'll figure that out.
Yep, we'll figure out when I go to use it what's damage or skew. Love it. All right, so plan is we're just gonna go on there, shields up, in case that griffin is right at the gate, because we've heard telltale that they're uh, we've heard telltale that they've tried to squeeze through before, so they might be right there when we get there. That's why we got the big shields, and I kind of look at Dole's shield. That's why we got the big shield, and we're just gonna hunker down until we get the lay of the land. And once we're inside, then we can start figuring out what to do. Ideally, I want to figure out what's pissing this griffin off. Maybe sweet talk it with a little goat meat, and just get it to stop throwing a fit.
Right.
We just don't need goat carcasses in the city, in the streets anymore.
Yeah.
Good. And look for nods, and then I head in. Dole, you're up front because you got the shield. I'm behind you, and Bloom, you're right behind me.
Yep.
And yeah, we plunge into the portal.
Cool. It clearly is built into a cliff. In the same hemisphere as the one that you're in, because it's also getting towards dusk. That so yeah.
Is there any natural light that makes its way into here?
A little bit.
Cool.
A little, like, I think it's dusk, so I think like a little bit is coming down, but not a whole lot.
All right. Well, before we do anything, we just kind of assess: are we being attacked by a griffin? Right? Like, this is like first, and if not, that's when I light the lantern and start looking around. What's in this space?
Yeah, it is. It is a barren wooden, not barren wooden, a barren stone, carved area. It looks kind of almost rough hewn. And across from you is, like right on this southern wall is another gate.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
Yeah, and it did not come up in the map.
Oh, man. I've got all like my rubber gloves on and everything like that. And I'm just like looking at the envelope where you put like the map, the Dungeon Delve notes, and I'm like, okay, Bloom, Dole, let's remember we gotta put this in the Delve record. Let's see what's on the other side of that portal. That might be whatever's pissing off the griffin. I'm gonna peek in there. Dole, you keep an eye out. You stay here with Bloom, and you keep an eye out. Yeah. Make sure that griffin isn't coming to take a bite out of either one of you.
Yeah.
Watch. Just cover me while I pop in there. Just get a sense of things. So I'm gonna make my way over. I'm looking up. Got the lantern, trying to make sure that nothing swoops down from us on the way to the gate. And once we kind of got positioned in front of the gate where we're facing, I've got Dole and Bloom sort of facing outwards. I take the lantern and I like try and hang it on a hook so that they have light. And I'm just going to trust my wolf eyes in the night on the other side of this portal, if it's assuming it's dark there. And I pop through.
Yeah.
through the portal, see what's on the other side. So just to get clarity, it's like on this side, like it's on the other side of the chamber.
It's like no, it's actually closer.
Okay.
It is. Oh, there. I actually drew something. Is where these 3 dots are. Yeah.
I do not see. Oh, yeah, there we go. Got it. South
Yep.
wall.
It's
Perfect.
like right where that is. Is another. Another one.
Right.
Cool. You. So they position themselves like in front of the gate.
Exactly.
And I think weapons are out.
Oh yeah.
But they're kind of like waiting for you. Like, what do you want to go in? What do you want to do? They don't say that, but they look to you like, are we moving in?
I say I just want to see what's on the other side real quick. If it needs more exploration, I'll bring you in. But for right now, you just face that way. And I'm sort of pointing to like where the griffin might drop down on them.
Right.
And and just cover my back. I'm gonna pop in real quick. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna be out. I'll be right back.
Cool.
And oops. So yeah, I'm gonna go through the portal on my own because that's a safe thing to do.
Awesome.
And I'm making these little notes of gate to Jakeways.
Yeah.
Gate to somewhere.
Love it.
And I assume I feel like the sort of the portal technology, the portal physics is that you can't like just pop your head in. You kind of got to go all the way through. Does that sound right to you? Like you step in.
I like that rule. Yes.
Like
yes.
Yeah.
Cool. You step in. Tell me about your posture. Like, tell me about like how you step in. Do you like step in and go to one knee? Do you step in and you're like, ready for?
Yeah, I think I'm stepping in. I'm very cautiously. So I've got I don't have any weapons drawn, but I do have kind of my hands up, like in case a griffin's going to attack me, I can guard my face, and I'm crouched kind of low, and I'm crouched, hands up, and just trying to take up as little space as I can. And Mike is not a small person, so like it's scrunching down, but they're still not tiny.
Cool. You come in what really seems to you like it doesn't seem to you. I mean, you're a pretty good judge of this, right? You go through and you know that you are in a former Sorcerer King's tower that is now inhabited by a wizard.
Got it.
And you hear someone in the distance say, Cassius, it took you a while. Did everything go all right?
Sorry, friend. Not Cassius. You want to come down here and we can talk about your unexpected visitor, meaning me, and my unexpected visitor, meaning you? I'm with the Delvers Union. I got a union card right here. No unlicensed inspector. No nobody's raiding no one's pillaging or raiding your tower. But I do need to talk to you.
Yeah, and I think a magical mouth appears on the wall. It says, "This is not a recorded message. I am speaking to you through this. I do not trust you."
And Micah just shaking. Micah doesn't know whether or not they could be seen or not, but they're just shaking their head like, how rude. You couldn't just make I know you were right around the corner. I go, all right. I'm Micah. I'm with the miners. I'm with the Miners Delvers Union of Jakeways. You are an uncharted gate from Jakeway. You're connected to an uncharted portal from Gateways from Jakeways. Are you aware of this?
I know that the Sorcerer King who once operated here had a gate that they used to access their griffin mounts.
All right. Okay. I'm piecing this together. And are you currently having any griffin activity of your own? Are you taming, breeding, harnessing, capturing, killing, fighting?
I sent my hireling to get some eggs so that I could begin raising them. I've recently acquisitioned a few tomes about the proper raising and training of griffin mounts.
Do you literally not know that we made a game about this exact same folly? Have you never played Griffin Ball?
No, I've never played Griffin Ball. It sounds ridiculous, like a ridiculous pastime.
It's a pastime that came up from all the people who got killed trying to steal eggs from griffins. Cassius is probably something that rhymes with Cassius but means dead. Slashius. I don't know. I can't help a friend. But
your vocabulary is unfortunate.
Well, do you have a word that means dead and rhymes with Cassius? Look. How much do you know about griffin egg or griffin raising? Just what you read in a book, or have you done it yourself?
I have not done it myself. No, the Sorcerer Kings did it. They had servants who did it, but they are all gone.
Right. So maybe the things that left with them should stay with them. Maybe we should just give up on Griffin, just let Griffins do their thing. Just let big birds be big birds. I'm not trying to capture, train, or make mounts out of them.
I am a wizard. I will do what I wish to do.
Of course you are. All right. So I need to know for the record, can you confirm that you continue to intend to antagonize the Griffins regardless of consequence?
This sounds like some sort of official question. What are the consequences if I say yes?
Just that I'm going to put it on record, and when someone asks me why are these Griffins losing their minds, I will say because this wizard keeps trying to steal their eggs.
Yes, you can put whatever you want on record. Jakeways has no
no jurisdiction.
No jurisdiction.
What's your name, wizard? What can I call you by? What's your title?
I am Calabace the Blue.
Well, I'll tell Calabace the Yellow that he should keep his color. I'll tell Calabace the Yellow that nobody's stolen his color. That was a joke. There isn't a Calabace the Yellow.
Yes, I am aware. I do not find your humor. You are currently trespassing, and I am being incredibly merciful.
Well, Cassius may very well be trespassing yourself. So tomato. You know, you're stepping into our realm as much as I'm stepping into yours.
Mm-hmm.
And I am pissed off any Griffins in yours. All right, I'm going to go back through this portal and see if I can figure out what's made the Griffin so upset. Presumably it's Cassius trying to steal their eggs. And I'm going to see if I can set that straight. Would you like a report when I tell you what I found? Just so
Yeah.
you know, like if I find,
feel
say,
like
Cassius dead on a
so I've been waiting for like
rope.
when's the moment we should roll, and I feel like this is the moment when we should roll because I feel like you've just offered to do something actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so like, does that turn him around, or is this guy just an irredeemable asshole? Let's learn that right now through your charisma roll
That sounds great.
because I need to know, and I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, Micah hasn't exactly been friendly with him because Micah's is annoyed by
Yeah,
by would be sorcerer kings. But yeah, I'm offering to go find out what happened to Cassius for him.
yeah,
So let's find out how that goes. Oh man! All right,
yeah. And I
another
think
box card.
cool. The mouth fade, the mouth on the wall improved. In
Proof magic mouth.
the improved magic mouth goes away, and or Calabase's improved magic mouth goes away, and Calabase comes out, and I think he's every bit of a Vancian, overwrought, ridiculously dressed, wizard, with facial hair that would make a Civil War officer blush, and he says, Cassius was an important part of this tower. I would appreciate it if you could find out his fate. Yes. Thank you, Micah.
And Micah's like really wants to be mad at Cassius at Calabase, but he's like, but they're like, oh, you're coming around, and like, so they just sort of swallow that because they know, like, oh man, if I just say something snarky right now, I'm just gonna turn him bitter again. So
Right.
so I'm like, you got it, boss. And Micah's used to calling lots of people boss. Like that's like not a you got a boss. If I find Calabase and I can bring him back, I will do it. I'll do that. And if I can't, I'll let you know what I find.
I thank you.
And I'm like, do I push my luck and see if I? No, I'm gonna find out what I find, and then I will, and then I'll come back, and maybe I'll have some leverage over Calabase. So I pop back through the portal.
Yeah, and I think like, yeah, I think you told them to stay put, so they stayed put. Dole, when you come back, Dole says, next time we do that, we should have a time limit on when I come in and go looking for you.
That's a good point.
That made me nervous.
I thought I was just going to peek in and take a look, but there was a wizard on the other side and I had to talk to him.
Got it.
All right. So here's the situation. We didn't know this portal was here. He doesn't know the other portal's there. I haven't told him. I mean, I think he can put 2 and 2 together because I said I'm from Jakeways, but he didn't seem to realize that there was another. He just knows a portal to the Griffin realm. I figure I don't need to tell wizards about any more portals. They can find that out for their own. But he sent his guy Calabase in here. No, his guy Cassius in here to get some Griffin eggs. My guess is Cassius is now split into, rendered into 100 pieces, and that's why the Griffins have been so irate. But we should go find out. I don't know if we can make peace with Griffins or not. Just big angry birds, as far as I know. But I say we proceed with the delve, knowing we're looking for a guy named Cassius. It's more than we knew when we first came in, at least. And
Cool.
yeah, let's move along. I mean, obviously, we're kind of keeping shields up. I don't think I have a shield. I'm keeping my thick leather gloves up in case something comes diving from above. I got one leather glove up and the lantern up, and moving with same order. Dole in front, Bloom in the back, me in the middle.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think there's rough hewn stairs that go up until there's a hole in the ceiling. Mm-hmm. And then there are some stairs down into a cave network that is totally unmapped, and is just kind of darkness. But then up above, you can hear a loud chirping, like some kind of chirping noise.
Yeah.
There's something alive up there at the top of the tower.
Well, it stands to reason that a rook would be in a tower anyway, right. Feeling like if we want to get some overtime, we could probably map that. We might get a little mapping pay if we go down there. If there's anything interesting, or we spend hours and hours trucking around in a cave getting nothing done. I'm gonna as Delve leader, I'm gonna say let's stay on point for now, but there might be some bonus pay to map that out. So we head up. And it's stairs going up, right? I assume it's circular stairs because we're at the tower.
Well, it's stairs going up until you get kind of. I mean, from what I can tell from this awesome map,
yep.
It's stairs until you get kind of to the tower,
mm-hmm.
And then it's kind of like a hole that you have to climb.
So it's stairs till like here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're climbing into effectively, this space.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
That's how I'm reading it.
Yeah. Perfect. I say, okay. I'm not sending anybody in there to be Griffin lunch.
They're nodding.
Dole, can I? Okay. Here's what I want to do. I want to take, and I'm sort of saying this both to you, Jed, as the GM, and also like Micah, sort of spitballing with them out loud. Dole, I want to take your shield and throw it through the hole. Maybe just cover the hole with it. Then I want to climb up there myself and get underneath it. And if it's clear, I'll pull you. I'll have you both come behind me. But I'm not sending you first in there if there's maybe a pissed off Griffin.
Cool.
So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Cool.
Is there danger afoot? Should I make a roll here?
I mean, I think you're just like putting a shield, like, you're throwing the shield up so that it covers the hole, right? Like at the top of the tower, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like that's not dangerous. It's just, I think like you hear kind of like a bit of a shriek, but nothing too terrible.
Yeah.
And then you hear beaks hitting the shield. Ting, 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 ting.
I look back and I'm like, well, answered that question.
Ting, but like it's really like a ping. And Dole says it doesn't sound like there's much power behind that.
Now it sounds like they're just curious. Probably chicks. I think if that was a full-blown Griffin, that would have been like thunk.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hold on. I wonder if this is a monster manual moment. Like what's the beak strength? What's the penetrating strength of a griffin of a griffin beak of an adult griffin beak? Can it puncture a shield?
Yeah. Oh man, I love this. Yeah, you should totally look that up.
All right.
I think it's accessing information from the monster manual. I think is straight up intelligence because I think it sometimes things just aren't where they're supposed to be, and the book is definitely a work in progress.
Yeah. All right. Well, at least last time I was just sifting through it for pictures, but this time I'm like, cool. I'm going to the G section.
Yeah.
At least I can run it down, and I'm like, all right, Dole, hold the lantern, and I'm gonna see if our records match up with my expectations. So let's make an intelligence roll.
Cool.
I got a 7.
Awesome. So I think the medium hit is because you get the information right as the information comes to you, right? Mm-hmm. So you literally like are looking at a picture whose caption is, a pencil drawing picture, whose caption is, Griffin claws and beaks have been known to rend, plate mail worn by knights.
Right.
And their back claws, while dangerous, are not as dangerous to the armored, but they are still, large lion claws that should not be ignored by anyone. And once the armor is rent, then the back claws can really do some damage. And at that moment, a beak, the mama comes home, and I think like you realize there was like a whoosh of air that you just like thought was the wind, but it wasn't, and like a yellow beak pierces the shield and like just like comes between like you and the monster manual, right? It's just like, right. Oh yeah, now it's reality, motherfucker. And the other thing I think Dole did before she handed you the shield is she took the pistols out and like put them on her armor, like on a brace, just right. So that like, just to be clear. But right. Yeah, you're sitting there reading the monster manual, and then a monster puts its beak through the shield and interrupts your reading by lantern light, probably. And yeah. And I think, it has, you can hear it. You can hear like its wings moving the chicks, and just like, the first puncture wound has gone through the shield, and now it's like, what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, I think the immediate answer is be startled to shit. Like, oh fuck, try and keep my composure and not drop the lantern and catch my lap on fire, or the monster manual on fire, or Dole on fire, or anything else, and yeah, we like scuttle back. I'm like, sorry, Dole. I'm glad that's not one of us, but still, that was a nice shield.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we found the roost. For sure. There's Mama.
Yeah, and I think like as you scuttle back, like it starts to pound holes into this shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, question, Judd. I have my two ranger abilities are Scout. When you're Scout ahead, you always spot the target before it spots you, and Wild. You can converse with and attempt to command animals.
Oh, fucking awesome. I was just talking to Jonathan today about how much I liked role-playing animals in role-playing games. Like I literally was just talking about how much I enjoy that today, and how I had a really fun horse interaction with a player character years ago in a Burning Wheel game. So anyway, I was literally just talking about that.
I think I took it because you mentioned that on an episode of Daydreaming.
You
awesome. said something similar, and I was like, yeah, that is cool. And I was like, oh, that's an option for a ranger? Hell yeah, I'm here.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. So you wanna.
So I don't know if a griffin counts as an animal or not, but I'm gonna try and.
Fuck yeah, it does.
Make some squawks. And I'm like, hold on, and I haven't explained, because this is World of Dungeons where there isn't actually like a built-in setting to justify this. I don't know whether this is a supernatural ability or just like something I kind of picked up or something I get from being a werewolf, but I just thought it was cool. So I took it.
Love it.
But yeah, I think I make some squawks, and I kind of take I take the crow's axe and I scratch the bottom side of the shield to make some scrape noises.
Yeah.
Griffin interpretive dance. Yeah. Thanks, Roger. And I try to, say essentially like, what angers you, like we're not here to hurt your babies. What's, we come in peace, right?
Yeah. Make that roll. Yeah. I love it.
All right. I'm going to make a charisma check, I think. Does that sound right to you?
Yes.
Oh my God. I mean, I'm not complaining about good rolls, but
cool.
It does feel like they're.
The Griffin, I mean, I think the Griffin's a simple creature, right? And it says you're human. A human came here. I fed it to my babies. I threw unusable parts through where it came from to let people know there that they shouldn't come back. I don't see why I should trust you yet at all.
Yeah, and I say I want to. I say, and I mean, this is again like in simplified terms, like the human is not my friend. I'm not with a human. I knew you were. We saw your anger, and I'm looking as the thing, and I'm just sitting here like in front of Dole and Bloom, just squawking and screeching, and I'm like, yeah, I know you're angry. I brought you. I have an offering, and I have an offering for you, as an apology. And I try to just like, at some point, like when it's like stopped, slamming the shield, like slide the shield away just enough, and like chuck the goat meat up there, and
yeah,
I just throw it in there. I don't even try to unwrap it. They can rip it apart, right? It's apology dowry, yeah. And here's a peace offering, basically.
Yeah, and I think you hear the babies like start to rip the thing apart, and you hear like Mama Griffin go like, "No, back! Don't trust humans. They poison shit." And the babies are like, "What is poison?" And they're like, "It's food that will kill you." And they're like, "Who would do that?" And they're like, and the Bam Mom is like, "Humans would do that because they're terrible, and they're and I stand by that." And
Yeah.
so it sniffs it really carefully and like cuts it open, with its beak, and looks at it really carefully, and then like licks it and says, "Yeah, okay." And so it bites it, and you hear it like masticate it and then like spit it into the Griffin chicks' mouths, and you hear Griffin chicks being like, "Oh, so good," and the Griffin mother says, "That was good. You're not going to try to take my children so you can ride them like an asshole."
Nope, I don't want to ride your children.
I love the sentences this game generates. Like, I love that. I mean, I'm sorry, we thought you were a vampire. We thought you would eat people. Like, that one works. And no, we don't want to ride your children. Like, yeah. I love that we are playing a game that generates that whatever that is. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. And I say there is a wizard, which is a particular kind of asshole human. It's like an extra human. Like that. That's like,
yeah. The Griffin says yes.
There's a wizard who sent someone to steal your babies. I want to convince him how bad. I want him to know how bad an idea that's a bad thing to do. Can you give me whatever's left of the man he sent? His
yeah.
His like not his remains. Like, I want to show the wizard how bad an idea this is. Like, show me this. His torn up clothes, his broken equipment, his rent body. I don't really.
Yeah. So here's the moment. The Griffin's like, yes, I will do that. Yeah. And there's this. Here's the moment that I see happening. Is it starts to push like the bones and pieces of it. Pieces of poor Cassius, into like, into the hole where the shield is.
Yeah, and I've already kind of pushed the shield away a little bit to make room to throw. Yeah, so
there's an accidental moment where it accidentally pushes one of its babies.
Oh, into the hole?
Into the hole. And it just falls like it's
I want to catch this.
Yeah,
this baby.
Yeah, if you want to catch it, you catch it.
Yeah,
and I think there's this moment where like the Griffin baby is like, "What? Where am I?" And and you see these two eyes staring at you from the hole, and you just see them like narrow to like angry slits.
Am I gonna murder you? Yeah. So I think Micah caught it just on instinct, like, oh shit, what is this thing? Like, oh my god, there's a thing and it's falling. I caught it, and
there's
then
probably flapping, right?
And then realizes like what they've done, and realizes how much of a threat this is, and they're like, your baby's safe. I'm gonna help them back up the hole. Please don't bite my head off. Because I think I gotta like climb up there to get the baby up there. Like I feel like awesome. I can't just like so.
It's an athletics.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And I'm gonna call this athletics. Yeah, I'm gonna call this the athletic skill, which means even on a 6,
Oh, do you have athletics?
I do have athletics, right?
Oh, so nice.
I rolled an 8, but just for folks curious about World of Dungeons. Whoops, that was not what I meant. If I had rolled a 6, it would have counted as a 7 to 9,
right?
But with more complications. So yeah. So, but anyway, I gotta.
So does an 8 bump up to a full?
8 still 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I think you've got it in one hand, and you're kind of like chimneying up with your feet, and I think the griffin goes to grab the baby, roughly, right? Because griffins can take it.
Yeah.
But you really can't. So like the 7 to 8 it's not trying to attack you. It's just trying to grab the baby.
Right.
And you're in the way. And so
it only has beaks and claws, right? That's all it's got. Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna roll a d6 of damage.
Cool.
And it's 5 points.
All right. Can I say -1 because of my heavy leathers?
Oh, yes. Yes, you absolutely can. Yep. So 4.
4. All right. So I'm down to 2 hit points.
Yeah. So I think like, it like, I don't even think it gets your hand, right? I think it's just like the hook of it like hooks into your clavicle.
Yeah.
And like rakes down. It's just not used to dealing with something so fucking fragile.
Right. And for the baby, this is fine, right? Like not even hurt.
It's just like a kitten getting grabbed by the back of the neck by its mom.
Right. I'm like, ah! And I'm like you said, I was chimneying up, so I'm like halfway in the hole, halfway out.
Yeah.
And with my one arm, I kind of like I'm trying to like push this griffin out of my lap, as it were, out of my lap in this chimney. And then I think Mama gets it, and a little piece of me as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I think I howl like because it hurts,
Yes.
And I sort of scream a bunch of obscenities, but not like meanly, just like ow, know. And then I sort of switch back to squawks of just like, it's okay. Your baby's okay, right?
It is okay. Yeah, baby's back.
Good. Does that mean it's a werewolf now? No. All right. Okay. I'm glad your baby's back. Like I said, I don't want to take your baby.
Good.
I have babies too. I don't want anyone to take them.
Oh. Good.
And at this point, I'm like halfway out of the hole, right?
Right.
So I'm just gonna stay there, and I'm gonna kind of, if there's room, take the shield and drop it back down beneath me. I imagine it's tight. I imagine it's like it's one of these torchbearer moments where like, okay, how do you do? Well, I scooch to the side and I kind of wedge the shield and like push it down till Dole can grab hold of it from beneath me. And then I just look at the remains of Cassius.
Yeah.
I assume they're pretty grisly, right?
Yeah. It's pretty grisly. It's about a week old and it's been picked clean by a griffin and the griffin babies, the griffin chicks. I imagine like splayed ribs.
Yeah.
Is where it's at. ribs stained red. But I also think there's this moment where you lift your head up and the griffin has, all, 5 of her chicks under her wing, and you are on this rook tower on the top of this mountain range on the top of the world.
Yeah.
And the griffin like looks at you like, get yourself together and then leave. But like it's not threatening you immediately. You've talked, successfully with it. And yeah, there's this moment where you're in this beautiful place with this majestic creature and its children. And how many people get to do that?
Yeah. I mean, this job is pretty shitty a lot of times, but I think I just like pause and I like look out of the view and I say, "Yeah, I have a beautiful home," and
I don't think "thank you" is in like Griffin vocabulary. I think it just says yes.
Yeah, that's great. It doesn't. Yep. Yeah, and I think I take a moment. I hope I'm not pissing off.
But I don't think it's like an ingrateful yes. I think it like looks with you, right? And it's like, yes, it is beautiful. Your home is not beautiful?
I like my home. My home has character.
Good. You have good goats at your home.
We have good goats.
That'll make up for a lot.
I kind of look at like the bare remains of the goats, and and I just can't help but think like this is exactly how one of the sorcerer kings would befriend a griffin so that they could eventually steal one of their chicks. Like this is the same. Like they do the same thing, and so I'm like, yep, we have good goats, but next time someone throws you one, I would check to make sure it wasn't poisonous as well. Like a lot of humans are assholes. Don't trust us. We're not worth it. But, I don't know how well that conveys in Griffin.
Yeah,
but I just sort of am like,
yeah. I think that conveys. Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool. So yeah, one-handed, I just sort of pull the remains, and I'm like, sorry, Dole, sorry, Bloom, and I just sort of pull the remains of Cassius down and just drop them down beneath, into the stairs beneath me.
Yeah. I think you hear Bloom say, "Oh shit," like as this.
Yeah.
As this leathery body falls.
Yeah, I think it's held together more by clothes and armor and that than it is by anything else.
Totally. And do you and then do you like drop the shield down?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I think you hear Dole, fucking hell.
Sorry, Doll. Let's see if I can get it replaced or fixed.
And yeah, the griffin like looks at you like kind of carefully and says, "You can get down."
I think there's like a part of me that's like doing this one-handed and chimming this isn't easy, but I'd rather try and do it myself and maybe twist something and pull something than the griffin help me and chomp a piece of me off. It's like, so I just say, yeah, I'll be okay. And I try and chimney my way back down.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to make another athletics check to see if I can get down?
Nope. Not interested. I think the interesting thing was like this fraught moment with a griffin chick.
Yeah.
Like, can you climb down? Doesn't interest me in the fucking slightest.
Right. But I think it is a nice question of like, yeah, would you get help from a griffin?
Right.
I don't think it wants to kill me, but it might just accidentally sever an artery in the process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bloom says, what are we going to do with this guy? And I think like Bloom has like gathered the like Dole is just looking at her shield like, oh, what the fuck? Like it's just because it's just like a punctured metal mess. Like a blacksmith might very well tell her, yeah, this is scrap.
It's totaled.
This is not worth fixing. But Yeah, I think Dole has Bloom has like gathered the bones of Cassius together into like a pile, right?
Yeah.
Because they probably like fell against the sides and like broke and
That shield was 3 days away from retirement. Yeah.
I'm too old for this shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, Dole, I don't know what to say. I'll try and get that shield fixed or replaced. I don't know what kind of coverage they give you as delve support, but I assume that they're considered sort of freelancers, bring your own equipment,
Right.
situation. I don't
I
know.
should be able to get this replaced.
It's
It's
nice shield.
just gonna be a lot of effort, but I guess it did its job.
Yeah, and I sort of like look at this like gnarly gash over my shoulder that I can't
Yeah.
do anything about because I think it's over the shoulder of my left arm, so I
Yeah.
can like look at it and go, yeah,
Yeah, but I think at that point they notice, right? Because I think
yeah,
Dole has been looking at their shield and Bloom has been looking at the body, and Dole looks up and says, "Whoa, what the fuck happened to you? You're near dead."
yeah. I think I'm kind of pale. I think I've lost some color on my
Yeah,
face, and there's a lot of blood running down. And I say,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. The baby fell in my lap, and I tried to give it back, and Mama wasn't trying to attack me, but she was clutched her baby back and just took a little piece of me with her. It was an accident.
let's get you back.
Yeah, yep, that's a good plan. Let's get back. Mission accomplished. But we got to get this wizard to. We got to stop this wizard from doing this again. So, Bloom, you feel comfortable talking to wizards?
Yeah,
All right,
absolutely.
great. Will you carry that? Let's go through the. Let's go back through the portal, the southern portal. Give back the remains and let him know this is what he gets when he tries to get wyvern eggs or griffin eggs.
Cool.
Or wyvern eggs. Either way, it's bad. Any kind of big bird, it's bad to. Yeah. So
Yeah,
because I think I'm too weak to carry Cassius's remains.
yeah,
I think with my arm right now, it's probably hanging pretty limp, and I'm just
yep.
I'm just kind of muscling through to try and get to to get this wrapped up. But I'm
What
not.
do
I'm
you
not.
tell Bloom, or do you what was it Dole? You said, can you talk to wizards, or was it Bloom? You said.
Bloom. Yeah.
What do you tell Bloom about talking to wizards before you send him in?
Oh, what good advice can I give? what advice would Sean give to somebody about to talk to a chancellor or a dean or something else?
Oh, no comment.
I mean, this is the what I feel like. Um, uh, his name is Calibase the Blue. Yeah. Don't take it personally if he just sends a magic mouth. That is really good advice, Roger. But I think all I'm going to say is you need to make sure he knows that you're impressed with what he's done. So comment on the grandioseness of his. Don't fall over yourself. Don't be obsequious, but recognize his accomplishments and
Nice.
and tell him about the impressiveness of his magic or the legends you've heard of him if you have.
Cool.
Yeah.
Make that charisma roll. I want to see how. I want to know. I want to use this to know how Bloom does.
Cool.
Or how it goes, I should say, and then we'll see if it's going to escalate into something bad. We'll see.
I got a 9.
Yeah, that goes all right. Cool. Yeah, I think Bloom comes back. Bloom comes back and says, "I don't think we made any friends, but he was grateful that we returned the body, and he sent his best."
All right, and he's not coming back here for anytime soon.
I couldn't get any promises out of him.
Yeah, wizards aren't likely to make promises to us we mortals.
Can we fuck up his portal?
Okay, Sorcerer King. If you know how to, I don't fucks with portals. I'm sorry. There's probably, but I'm about to bleed out. I think hopefully he learned his lesson. I wanted him to see the body so he knew what happens
Cool.
when you go and do this. And
Cool.
my guess is he doesn't have. He said Cassius was an important member of his entourage. My guess is he doesn't have a whole lot of people he can just send to their deaths. So hopefully he'll think twice before doing that again.
Good.
Yeah, and I think we pop out. We head out. We leave the.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Love it. Should we? We've got like a post delve move, don't we?
Yeah. We've got like a. Do you want to do post delve paperwork? Do you want to do leaving the dungeon?
No, we don't. We don't have to exit. I think there's no.
Yeah, because there's no threats kind of in the way. We're right at the door.
Right, we don't need to. We don't need to roll when there's nothing there.
All right. So my question is: has it been a short enough time, a long enough time that we've been in here that Kassan is back with the hospital cart?
Yeah, I think I don't think it was the time we took to play this. Right. I think it took longer than that. Yeah. I think it's been hours.
That's what I think too.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I think climbing and moving and moving with a slow purpose. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's.
Yeah.
I think it took longer. So.
Yeah. I think right before we go through. Jed, tell me how you feel about this.
Yeah.
Tell me where you think this stands in the this is just some shit people do, or oh, this is really unethical and awful. I'm thinking about things like workers' comp and how much my stuff gets, how much me as a delver who's an employee gets covered versus how much Dole and Bloom who are support freelancers get covered.
Yeah.
My thought is to take some of the copious amounts of blood that is all over me and smear some of that on the shield and go back and be like, this is my shield. It got messed up. You need to take care of me and fix my shield so I can get Dole's shield fixed for her. Otherwise, awesome. She's got to go do it herself, right?
That sounds
otherwise
awesome.
It's on her. So does that seem this feels like it's the kind of thing that you could get in trouble if they found out, but who's gonna ask? Who's gonna know? And
yeah, I mean, I think I think that's you spending one on the morale clock.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which we need to create, but yeah.
Which we need to create, yes.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, Delver's insurance fraud. Exactly. Yeah, so before we go through, I'm all right, let's get your shield fixed up the right way.
Yeah.
Or and so we do that. So when I come out, I'm basically holding the shield it's on my arm, but my arm's just hanging limply, and there's a big hole in the shield. There's a big hole in my arm. They don't match up, but it's because I was holding it like this or whatever.
Yeah. They're not gonna get CSI to line
to confirm that.
Yeah.
So I basically stumble out and am very pleased that Kassan is back with the hospital cart because I don't want to go any further. Yeah. I'm yep. Delve bag being returned. Goat meat has been spent. Gloves are in okay condition. Delver is not in okay condition. I need some clerics.
Yeah. Sounds good. I think you get your healing while filling out your paperwork.
Yeah.
Let's make that roll.
All right. Let's look at the move. All right. For every one of these is true. Delve goals accomplished. I think so. Griffins are not mad.
Yep.
Everyone made it out. Yes.
Yep.
Dungeon is no longer a threat to Jackways. I feel like it could have been maybe if I'd gotten a 10 on that charisma roll, but it feels like it's not a threat immediately, but it's not a permanently resolved situation.
Right. And I think there's also there's deeper tunnels, like you said. I think it's 2 of 3.
Yeah. That's that's my only 6 2. Right, I got a 9. If I had that 3. Okay, so I get 1 hold that I can use to add a party member to my delve, add +1 to the funds clock, add +1 to the morale clock, and or take +1 forward on a roll. And I'll just keep that in mind for
cool
for next one.
Yeah.
Or why don't I just do this? You said it's a tick off the morale clock to sort of do the
Oh no, I feel like saying +1 to the morale clock is like I feel like getting the shield fixed on your dime on your status would add to the morale clock. So why don't we use this to say
that's how it's done?
Yeah, that's how it's done.
That sounds perfect to me. So I'm going to take +1 on a morale clock. We're going to make these clocks, and the way what that looks like is Dole gets her shield, fixed up or replaced, and
right.
I love it. Cool. So I'm filling this out. I asked Kassan to come with me because I think I might need union representation, back at the Delve House.
Right.
And I ask about the, while I'm being carted, how did it go with the split the party with the Appendix N?
Oh yeah. I know. I think it went well. Right. He says, yeah, it's moving along. We got it in on time, and I think Blue being in an uncertain state slowed things down a little bit. So yeah, I think that's in. She should have an easier time. Things should be expedited.
Good. Well, Flint will probably be happy because we found not only some unexplored territory that we can send another delver into to research, but also we found another portal, which I've never seen before. That's a new one for me. Portals within portals. What were the SKs thinking, man? And I'm envisioning planar dimensions as being like Swiss cheese. The SKs are just we'll just bore a hole from here to here and here to here.
But I don't think they were portals within portals. I think it was a portal next to a portal.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that as a figure of speech. But yeah, no, I totally get that. But it does seem to me like connecting. I thought previously it just had never occurred to Micah that the Sorcerer Kings would. Micah just sort of assumed that Jackways was the hub for everything, right? And it never occurred to them that they would hop, they'd make one-dimensional link to another, and so they're just kind of oh man, what I could other portals go to?
Yeah, I for whatever reason I had some time with my notebook and I wrote some other cities in this world. That operate on very different logic than Jakeways does.
Nice.
Everything from a communist farming collective to an anarchist collective of villages to a feuding megocracy, which is where you just came from, which is where that wizard came from.
Nice.
And a bunch of cool stuff. So there's I wanted a bigger world out there, and I mean we haven't delved enough into Jakeways to really get into intercity politics, but I wanted a hint of oh yeah, there's other stuff out there, and cool. Yeah, I just wanted you to know that's something. There's a bigger map, and we'll fuck with it when it's time to fuck with it.
I love it.
Cool. And Roger, why does your shield have firearm holsters? Yes. I use that for my lantern. That's come on now. It's a lantern holster. Don't be a dick. No one. I don't think anyone looked at it that carefully. But I would imagine if Micah fudged a lot of paperwork, they would start to, and things would, the working conditions would get pretty bad fast. But
yep.
I
I mean, this is the kind of thing you have to decide, like, how much can you get away with? Like, how many office supplies can you steal from your work before somebody starts noticing?
Right? I like when my first days as a library manager, when I worked on an island and a guy was late because the bridge went up, and I got a call from HR that was like, yeah, he's late. And I was like, yeah, the bridge is up. And they were like, yeah, but he's late. And I'm like,
what is he supposed to do? Fly?
Do you have a boat? Like, do you have a boat that could get him here? And they were like, no. And I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. And they were like, well, this needs to be like written up and dealt with. And I was like, okay, all right, I will deal with it. I will talk to him about it. And I did. But like, do you want me to chastise someone for getting stuck off an island because a garbage barge broke down and the bridge wouldn't? Anyway, yes, I think there are times you got to break the rules to be a good person. It's just the way it is in the world, and I agree. And if anyone who might be hiring me in the next year hears that, I'm so sorry. I hope you hear it with a good ear, or whatever, or maybe we weren't meant to work together. Whatever.
Maybe for the kind of boss that feels like HR wasn't the right there, you should rethink some things as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Jed, I need a name for the people who live in Jakeways, people who are not Delvers, that starts with an L.
People who are like not Delvers, like what Delvers call non-Delvers?
Yes, exactly. So it could just be like what people call. It could just be like what someone who lives in Jakeways is called in general, or it could be a specific slang or term that Delvers call normal citizens.
Oh, right? Wow, that's interesting.
And I'm mulling on it, and once I have that, I will have my helmet motto. But
hold on. Let me look.
And it can just be a complete made up.
Yeah, like the only like term I can think of is lollygagger.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's great. I
could use locals. It's not exactly.
locals isn't bad.
Locals. I'm on the One Look dictionary.
Yeah. I did like nouns that start with L. Lords.
Lords might be better in this case, although I don't like it. But I mean, okay. So I'm going to say locals, but you can tell me if you think there should be something else. So it's Delvers dig, so locals live.
Oh, nice.
That's what's on the side of the.
That's very good. That's very good. Lamplighters, land lovers, landovers.
Oh yeah, Landers? It's not a word, but just make it up.
Yeah, Landers. Sounds good.
Landers, yeah.
Thank you,
Delvers dig, so Landers live. There we go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep. Thank you, Roger. Okay, so now I have a something to go on the side of the helmet.
And John rocked out with some when we were doing the Delvers checklist. I think I wasn't paying attention to the chat, and John rocked out with like there's no thieves tools, which I think is interesting. So maybe that's something that they're petitioning to get in, and we'll see it get added to the list later. But I think they don't want it to get in because they've got they don't want that that veneer on.
I think there's a stigma of having that like we're not looters, right? We're not in there to steal treasures and stuff like that. Even though there's plenty of times when having lockpicks would be really handy.
Right.
It seems like that's the kind of thing you
crowbar. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing you be frowned upon. So
awesome.
Yep. Cool. Do you want to do XP and wrap up?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're good. Yeah, I think let's XP this stuff.
Cool. I'm gonna just write somewhere in here. I guess I'll make a journal note, and I'm gonna say handout. I'm gonna call it the Delvers Hall, and I'm just gonna put morale +1. We don't know what the base is or anything else.
Right.
Morale +1. We'll figure out what the other info is later. But
yeah.
All right. I think you have the yes.
Did you overcome a challenge with cunning?
I think so. I think using the shield to basically scout ahead and not have our bodies be perforated was pretty smart.
Yeah.
I also think giving. I think I gave something to all interested parties. Like I gave goat meat to the griffin, and I gave a body. I gave the remains of Cassius back to.
Yeah, I agree. I was looking for like, what is this wizard about? And then like you said, like I'll go get Cassius for you, and you really did it with like a no strings attached vibe, and that was like that's the role. Like okay, if he doesn't appreciate that, he's a dick, right? Like that is the moment for me where we find out what this character is,
right?
And so that was cool. So yeah, I think 2, absolutely
cool.
Did you add a new entry into the monster manual or an addition onto the map?
I think I added an addition onto the map. I added the portal to the and also just the the other uncharted territory. That, I didn't chart that area, but I think it's just one because I didn't go down into it. But
okay, so just one.
Yeah,
cool. That's three total.
Yep.
Did you express something about your family, community, or neighborhood?
Yeah, I feel like it. I was talking to Scarlett, and we basically invented the Night Forest and Lux, and I think that there's a community touch that I really liked, which you introduced, but I still am going to consider this something that was expressed in the game.
Yeah,
which was just like that. Oh yeah, you don't have a stockpile of all kinds of weird things. You go to the butcher and you get some goat's meat, and you go to there's people in your community, and they're in this case happy to help because it means that griffins aren't going to be trying to snatch people off the street, claw their way through it.
I think in this game, because it's Union and the job I had at library was Union, and because I really miss library work, I'm going to talk about it a lot. So forgive me if I just like wax nostalgic about library work. But the thing with the gear reminds me of this moment I had where one colleague was like, "Oh, I have all these chairs and I've literally nowhere to put them, and I don't know what to do." They're these beautiful wooden chairs and I can't just throw them on the street. And then like 10 minutes later, another colleague was like, "Oh, if I don't get some chairs, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I can't afford them." And I was like, "Wait, I'm going to send one email and I'm going to solve all these problems. So just give me 1 minute to send this email." And I put these two people together. And I think like the job is very much like that. Like, it's like, oh, like sometimes it'll be, there's a butcher shop, get some goat meat. And other times it'll be like, you know what? I know so-and-so has a wand, that he kept to himself. So like, you should go ask them for that. Like I think it'll be cool. I think we'll figure out where's what. Nice.
Yeah. So I think that's too. I think there was a lot of that.
Awesome. Yeah, it usually is, I feel like. So that we are up to 5.
Yep. Did you accomplish your session task? Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
We I don't think the Griffins are gonna be angry anymore. Yeah.
Yep.
And did you live up to the motto on your helmet? I feel like it. I think that's worth a check. I think that we're keeping everyone's safe, right? We're keeping the people safe out here.
Cool.
And really, like in a not just a general way either. Like I think we showed, Calabase the Blue, like what's up, like this is what happens, like I brought back your guy, his remains, but like also you see how much they just like eviscerated him. Like this is what happens. Don't do it.
Cool.
So
I think you completed your 8 count clock.
I think so. Yeah.
Cool. And you've got 4 into the, or do we say so? Here's the thing: does the XP roll over into the next 1 to 2, or do we just like throw that away and you start fresh from the 1 to 2?
I could see either way. I mean, sometimes you fill up a clock, and if you exceed it, those ticks are not
right.
Not counted. If it was just 8 per level, that's what I would say. But since it's going like it's doubling at each level, I don't think that it's gonna be jump me to level 2
right
that much faster to have the 4 ticks.
Cool. So your 4 ticks into your 16 count.
Cool.
And awesome. And I think that will also mean you will have access to a higher level of delve support too. So that'll be cool. And I think we're done.
Yeah. I will do the leveling up. So I think in World of Dungeons it says when you level up, you basically the next level is you get a hit. I get a hit die. Do you want to use the World of Dungeons stuff, or do you want to use the other things you can the other things you can do leveling?
I mean, I think other things you can do with leveling will probably be something we'll look at when you get to level 3.
Cool.
And
awesome.
and then it's like, okay, I'm as good as I'm going to get. Now let's like improve the world around me and start building shit. So yeah, I think we can. I think you just get an extra hit die. Yep.
Awesome. Cool. I got 2 hit dice. Huzzah! I can be bit more than once and not die, probably.
Yeah. Awesome. That's fun. This remaining fun.
That was really fun. I really enjoyed that dungeon in the sense of, it was like I remember this one time when it was raining really, 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 really bad, and we parked at our gym, and like half our car, like the front half of our car was like deep under, like in the water. And we got out of our car, and it was like you had to like step in like a lake, like
right.
And there was this guy who just a gym guy, like I knew him, he was a friend of mine, and he was out there, and I couldn't tell what he was doing at first, and finally I figured out that he had found the storm drain, and it had just gotten clogged by some shit, and so he was using like the pole of a mop to just get in there. He had like gotten a mop out of the gym and took the stick end of it and was just trying to like pull crap out. Yeah. And he finally, like, he was digging and digging and digging, and he finally like got it free, and then just like all this water went down the storm drain. And that just feels like the kind of work we do. It's just like, well, something's clogged and jammed up in there. We got to go pull it free. And in this case, there's a wizard jammed up in a griffin's, brook.
Yeah,
we gotta yank it free and clear things.
Yeah.
So
it's cool. I like the things I get to like channel nostalgia for library work and my love for New York City and respect for people who work to make cities better and keep them working because they're such ridiculously delicate ecosystems and dungeons and cool dungeon maps, and it's like, I'm in. Yep. Like this is all stuff that I'm totally down for.
We get to have characters, not just Micah, but like a lot of the other people. We get to have characters who are similar, like as seasoned about things in fantasy worlds as we are as players. Like, yeah, vampires. Okay, well, let's get out the garlic, right? Like, it's not. Oh no, I've never heard of a creature of the night.
Right.
What
Yeah.
could it
Right.
be? You know,
Right.
it's like I don't know if what all your specifics, but I assume you eat people, right? That kind of thing is like
Right.
it just is just
Yeah.
it's just fun to like be able to have a monster manual, have a dungeon map, and have characters that are matter of fact about it, rather than feigning all of this ignorance that we as people who've been playing these games for 30 years don't actually have. So
yeah. No, I love that too. I absolutely love it too. And yes, making the maps in game and making the monster manual in game are both delving things I want to do for a long time, and World of Dungeons is like the perfect place to be like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Because it is so do it yourself. So
yeah. Roger says it's nice to see a pretty or even anti-mercenary sort of take on this. Yeah. I really wanted a person who was delving as a civil servant rather than delving as a plunderer. In the last session, we found these like caskets that were locked, and I was like, well, if they're locked, then that means that if they're sealed and they haven't been opened in ages, that means that whoever was in here didn't get into them. So I don't need to. Like, I've got a crowbar, but I don't want to steal these old treasures. It's not what I'm here for, to desecrate this tomb. And I just, it's fun to, we're not playing characters we're not overly concerned with money, or it's a factor, but it's not like anyone's doing this to get rich. We're doing it as a job. And
I like that too.
So
I like that too. The firefighter vibe is cool. I'm digging that. Definitely digging that.
All right, let's sign off then. I think we're good. So I'm Sean. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Sean Dittner. I don't think I got anything going on other than I think we're playing Blades next Tuesday. That should be fun. And lots of Evil Hat projects that you can find over Evil Hat website. How about you, Judd? What's going on in your world?
Yeah, my name is Judd. He, him, and got the Daydreaming About Dragons podcast has been chugging right along. I've got a reply show that I need to just put together. I've got more than enough replies to just get a show together. So that needs to happen, I think, this coming week. I really wanted to do it the holiday weekend when people were traveling. So I might get ambitious and get it done tomorrow or the next day, but definitely next week, a new reply show for Daydreaming will come out. Nice. And we'll get to it. And that's about it. Other stuff is brewing, but nothing really like cooked enough to mention. So things are moving along. The Githyanki Diaspora is my blog is going well. I feel like that's been cool. So if you want to see whatever else is going on, that's a thing. And I'll put my links in the show notes if that's something you like. And there it is.
Awesome. Ooh, clever. Nice.
Yeah, that'll work. That's a thing. You can do that. Apparently.
You can do that.
Oh, thank you for the beard.
Yeah, it's a good beard. I feel like I haven't kept up. It's so funny because we were playing Burning Wheel, and at the very beginning of the campaign, Judd and I were both cleanly shaven, and later in the campaign, we both had these giant Gandalf freaking beards. And Judd captured a really great shot of it. But I have since been shorn. But who knows? Might come back. All right, Judd, great seeing you, my friend. Everybody in chat, thanks for hanging out with us. And
thank you for hanging with us, folks. It really makes a difference. You bring a lot of energy, which is great. So thank you, Roger, and thank you, John. You folks are awesome.
Yep. Take care, all.